More port. Okay, how about double port? Let's drink some whiskey. Welcome to Whiskey and Whiskey. I'm the Whiskey Chaser Brian, and yeah, this is Christy's bar. You know the deal by now. So if you haven't already noticed from my last video, card above, I kind of have a soft spot for port finished or matured whiskeys. It's called love. And this week I'm keeping the port train moving along, except this week it's double port finished. Oh yeah. You don't need to correct your video watching and listening devices. You heard me right, double port. This is the Liberator small batch double port finish from Wayward Spirits. How small of a batch, you say? Doesn't actually say. I have no idea. Joke, LOLs. I checked their website and batch one is a run of 3,000 bottles. Then who are Wayward Spirits? You know where I'm going with this. Wayward Irish Spirits is based on the Lakeview estate on the shores of Loch Lean in Kilkenny. They're the makers of the Liberator Irish Whiskey, which celebrates the achievements of Maurice O'Connell's, he's the main man in charge, ancestors. Daniel O'Connell, who was hailed as the greatest ever Irishman. Bold statement. The company draws on a long family tradition of supplying spirits in the region, dating back as far as 1450, and known then for importing wines and brandies from Spain and Portugal. It wasn't until 1661 that the O'Connells went a little bit rogue as a result of the excise tax imposed on imported spirits from the Crown, and they did what they had to do to avoid these taxes and went, how you say, underground. Nobody really likes paying taxes. In 1775, Daniel O'Connell, who was known as the Liberator, was born. He was a peaceful activist in his time that mobilized millions of his people to give them a voice for the first time. He campaigned to end slavery and for all human rights regardless of race, gender, or religion, and was an acknowledged influence for activists like Martin Luther King Jr., Gandhi, and Frederick Douglass. With being outspoken and standing up for others' rights, sometimes you can get a bit of unwanted attention from those in charge. These kind of things happen, but it was a British PM that described O'Connell as that wayward Irishman. And well, basically, you get the idea where the name comes from. It was around 1820 that the O'Connells stopped the smuggling and the family moved to Lakeview Estate on the shore of Loch Lean in Kilkenny, which is their current headquarters for their company. Currently, Wayward are bonders of fine spirits, but Lakeview does in fact grow its own barley, and they have laid down their first cask of whiskey in 2019. So very exciting times ahead. I feel like Gordon Ramsay with the hands. Stop. The Liberator is their range of bonded whiskies. They source quality spirit from some of Ireland's finest distilleries, which they use to add to their growing library of flavors. These are matured further, then finished, blended, and bottled on the estate. Okay, so let's dive into this whiskey, and I'll give you my notes and of course, my thoughts. Firstly, this is a 46% ABV double port finished whiskey. Non-chill filtered, and the process of cutting the whiskey down to 46% is actually something they do over the course of 5 to 6 weeks. They cut the whiskey by adding water slowly and reduce the ABV by 1 to 2% weekly, which lets the whiskey marry with the water a little bit better. Because they bottle their spirit on site, they don't have to contend with bottle haul scheduling or bonding scheduling. So basically, it makes it that bit more unique. There is also no coloring added to these whiskeys, so basically what you're seeing is what you're getting, and it's all natural. As this is a blended whiskey, the makeup of the blend is predominantly 2015 GND or Great Northern Distillery stock. The malts were initially in bourbon and then finished for 9 to 12 months in really fresh tawny port casks. These were actually sourced by the headman himself, Sir Maurice, in Portugal, and they actually managed to disgorge the casks and had them tested in Porto Cooperage and refilled back in Ireland within 3 weeks. 3 weeks, that's good going. The grain component was initially in bourbon and then 12 months in ruby port casks, and there's also a small element of 2006 Cooley malt and 2010 Cooley grain, both in bourbon. Okay, so this is more of a premium blended whiskey as it has a heavier malt content of roughly about 42%, which is a little unusual to have that high of a malt content. So look, I'm expecting great things, and obviously then if the malt is 42%, the grain is 58%, making up the full blend. Priced around 50 euros, and we're gonna get it in the glass and have a little drink. All right, so it's in the glass. Let's get a little bit of it on the nose. I'm excited that this. You know how I feel about port, infused, and matured, and finished whiskeys. I love it. I don't see why I won't love this. So, straight away, you get the malt content coming through quite heavily, which is nice because you're getting a lot of like pears and kind of a little bit of apple, quite sweet. So I'm feeling like there's a little bit of berries coming through there. It's quite nice, and get a little bit of peppery spice and a little bit of the grain as well coming through, just a hint, you know, it's just kind of, it's there. It's not, I say, an overly forward distillate-y nose or anything like that. Quite juicy, quite fragrant. The malt is there. The malt stands out as lovely, like that pear and kind of apple nose to it. Really, really pleasant on the nose, very vibrant. Let's have a little sup for Brino. Beautiful, really fresh. There's black currants. Vibrant, juicy black currants, even the back of the mouth. Little bit of clove, lovely, kind of lovely peppery spice, not overwhelming, not knock your senses out kind of taste-wise. Slight hint of bitterness and like a touch of kind of chocolatey notes. There's like a dark chocolate vibe in there. I'm still getting that clove, but what's standing out the most is the sweetness of it, the black currants of it, or the berries even. It's just really vibrant. The finish is lovely, not overly spicy, although still keeping a little bit of that spice in touch, reminding you that's 46% ABV. Lovely, pleasant, still sweet, not overly bitter on the mouth, which is good because I tend to find that port finished whiskeys can be a little bit woody, a little bit bitter, a little bit resinous, but not with this. The finish is spot on. And I did purchase a bottle of this myself. I've since drank it. It was a number of months ago. It was back last year when it first came out. It is lovely. It's a port finished whiskey. I mean, third time back around, you're getting malt, the berries, a little bit more of dark chocolate notes on the finish, actually, this time around. That's delicious though. For that price point, you know, you're getting a non-age statement, which is approximately 5 years, you know, double port finish blend. I like it. Now, there is a cask strength version of this, and you know what? I'd love to be able to sample and compare it, but I don't actually have a sample. Oh, wait, what? What's that? Pow! Yes, I do have a small sample of the cask strength version. Let's try it. So the cask strength version is part of the Storehouse releases, which are basically an even more limited release of whiskeys that the folks at Wayward are working on and think really stand out. Upon release, I don't have a bottle, but I'll leave one on the screen. There were 156 hand-numbered 350ml bottles available at 62.1% ABV, €55, and they sold out really quickly. And just as a comparison, the 46% ABV is a 700ml bottle. This is a batch 1 release. I believe batch 3 is on its way, as batch 2 was for the German market. So it's in the glass, no slow-mo pours for this one, and let's give a little taste, a little nose. Okay, so on the nosy nose, you're getting more of a vibrant kind of berry, like nearly like a strawberry. And it's a little bit more florally, kind of more vibrant, but think vibrant floral. You're getting more malt as well. You're getting that more kind of apple pear nose to it. It's standing out a little bit more. It's more richer, it's more full, it's more in your face. I think predominantly floral notes coming to my mind. Quite nice, quite fragrant, perfumey even. Pretty, that's a good word to describe that nose. Very pretty, not overwhelming. It's cask strength, really not overwhelming. All right, let's have a little taste. A little sup for Brino, Sláinte. Okay, bang. Way more sweetness from the fruits. A lot of like blackcurrant fruits coming through on it. Way more spice. That bitterness is starting to come through way more now. Chocolate note, or kind of the dark chocolate note, is definitely there now. It's kind of, do you know, it's like the original 46% turned up to 11. Cranked it up. Lovely kind of finish to it, tapers off nicely. Still got a lovely bit of spice on the finish. Really pleasant, really kind of juicy, lip-smackingly light. It's not a very oily or very thick kind of whiskey. Pleasant, really good summertime or wintertime or whenever time drinker. There's a lot going on in those whiskeys, a lot of flavor to draw from it. You know, definitely premium blends. I'm impressed. I like the cask strength. I wish I would have gotten a bigger sample or bottle or when it came out first. They are very limited releases. They are kind of smaller bottles, so it is what it is. I think I did mention that the cask strength was €55 for a 350ml bottle, so, you know, weigh it up for yourself, but look, you can't go wrong with the 46% ABV version of it. Quite nice. All right, so as you know, and I've said before, before many times, I'm a big fan of port finish whiskey. These are really good. I mean, they're really great blends. There's nothing that's standing out as too harsh. It just seems to be nicely blended. It's done quite well. Nice finish, nice flavors. Obviously the cask strength version is turned up to 11 and delivers a lot more on the floral kind of berry notes and the fruity notes. I would recommend, absolutely 100%. I may get another bottle for the old drinking shelf because my other one is gone now, but oh yeah, I nearly forgot. If you liked any of that video and info, give us a thumbs up. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notifications bell thingy. As I said before, I heard a rumor, it helps with the rankings on YouTube and, well, you know, rankings. Seriously, rankings. As always, thanks to the lads at Christy's here and also the good folks at Wayward Spirits who did send me on a few samples so I could get this video done for you today. In particular, the cask strength sample, the original double port we had here behind the bar. So if you've tried any of these whiskeys, let me know in the comment section below and tell me what your thoughts were on them. I was on a bit of a port finish run for the last few weeks, so next week we're definitely going to try something entirely different, so bear with me on that one. Oh yeah, and I have acquired a few more peated smoked Irish whiskeys, so I'll be doing something special with them in the near future, so be sure to keep tuned into the channel and of course Instagram on that where I post everything. All my links are down below in the description box and you can check me out there. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. That's all I got for you this week. As always, it's been a pleasure. Stay safe and we'll see you next week. Sláinte.